Hello everyone and welcome back to Limit Break. In today's episode we're going to be talking about tanking, and even if you're not a tank, things that you can do to make your dungeon runs go a lot smoother. Most of you already know that I was level 50 Paladin pretty quick within the first couple days of launch. After getting my first piece of Dark Light armor for my Paladin, I switched to Bard and leveled my Bard up to level 50. And to be honest with you, one of the biggest factors of actually changing to a DPS just for a little bit is the frustration that I was having and I was encountering in these endgame dungeons such as Amdapor Keep. As a lot of you may know, I do play World of Warcraft, and I've played World of Warcraft for quite some time. Now, I don't know if this was a Final Fantasy player thing, or if it's just players not really knowing what else to do, if it seems boring, but I have a lot of trouble with healers DPSing. And I guess this is me ranting a little bit, and it may be a Final Fantasy thing, but unfortunately, it causes tanks in this game to literally have heart attacks. Now, as you can see from this video, in the run of Amdapor Keep that we were doing, the priest was doing his big, huge AoE attack. Normally, I'm not too against healers DPSing if they really want to. I mean, as long as I stay alive, which I did stay alive. I didn't die through any of the trash, but it causes such animosity between a tank and a healer, especially in Final Fantasy, because aggro is a little more difficult to get as in other games. As you can see at the top left corner, or you probably knew this already, but there's little white bars with numbers that shows the aggro status of the party members. The A means you have aggro, the 2 means you are second in aggro, second highest aggro, and so on and so forth. Also, as you can see in this video, I do mark the targets to attack first, which generally works out very, very well. And I'm sure I'm not the first to say this, but AoE threat is, well, for the lack of a better word, bad. It can be fairly difficult at times to pick up more than one mob at a time, especially when you have said healer or others DPSing things that you don't have marked. Generally, when I do a pull, I pull in numbers. I pull the first, second, and third, and that is my aggro priority when I'm tanking, because AoE threat is fairly difficult to get. So I will do a flash or two to make sure that the aggro from the healer healing doesn't go over to them during the time that it takes to kill the first one or two. However, there are difficulties like the situation that you see in this video, where the healer is not only getting aggro from the AoE that he's doing, but he will also get aggro from the heals that he puts out. Now you may think to yourself, well, he's not dying, he's keeping everyone alive, so what's the issue? The idea of a tank is to take damage for other party members. And when a tank isn't able to do that, it feels like they aren't doing their job. And that makes them discouraged, and they don't really necessarily want to play that class because they feel like they're not doing their job anymore. Now, to be quite honest with you, I might be guilty of feeling that I wasn't adequate to tank because of these sorts of situations. However, I just found that it wasn't fun anymore simply because of having to deal with all of this animosity between the entire groups. Now, my biggest suggestion to Square, and I've said this since pretty much day one when I started tanking, was Square, maybe think about putting Flash off of the GCD. Now let's think about that for a second. Flash does no damage. Flash does blind, but it also has diminishing returns. So even if you're spamming it, you're still gonna hit diminishing returns, so there's really no negative repercussions of putting it off the GCD. Putting it off the GCD allows tanks to get that initial AoE threat much quicker, and still keep threat up on the target that they're attacking. So I'd like to ask my viewers this. How do you feel about tanking as it stands now? Do you think they need to fix something? Do you think they need to change anything? Do you think it's just okay? Do you think they don't need to change anything at all? Let me know in the comments below. I've also been running into instances where people have been having trouble doing Amdapor Keep. I've been toying around with the idea of making a guide for it, a tips and tricks, if you will, Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see that, if that's something that you'd be interested in, and I'll do it. As always guys, please like, comment, and subscribe if you like the content here on Limit Break, and I'll see you guys in the next video.